Hello, welcome to the video. Today we're going to take a look at the top 10 teams for the upcoming season with buffed Pokemon. And this is going to be part number 1. We can even make another part as well afterwards if you want to for some more teams for next season, because there are so many changes for the upcoming season. There are so many exciting ones that we can cover in teams. And also, if I missed like a favorite Pokemon of yours that I should make a team around as well for the part number 2, then feel free to leave a like, subscribe, as well as let me know in the comment section which Pokemon you want to see in a team next. And I will definitely take a look at them. So let's start in right with team number 1. Usually I take a look at the meta here as well, but I think we had enough videos towards this on my channel already. I think like around 30 or something, so I don't think there's a point of it. Just rewatch the videos that I did already for the upcoming season, and let's dive right into team number 1. Team number 1 is going to be a very common core that you're going to see here. Like, this is going to be like basically the top meta threats all together. We're going to have Clodsire, we're going to have Feraligatr, the best face-up for the upcoming season, as well as Machamp, most likely the best closer for the upcoming season, very likely with Karate Chop, and Stone Edge needing a double legacy moveset is going to be quite costly, but definitely worth it. We have 2 Pokemon with legacy moves here as well. As Feraligatr needs the Hydro Cannon as well, but having the access to Shadow Claw Hydro Cannon is going to be so great in the current meta, and we're gonna see it here in the statistics as well. We're gonna see as well that the Feraligatr is going to be a great counter to Clodsire. We have a very neutral matchup in lead with Clodsire because we both have basically the same kind of Pokemon there. A hard answer, and a Pokemon that definitely doesn't want to face a Clodsire, which is going to be the Machamp, but Machamp is going to be able to basically beat nearly anything else. On paper, there are 2 Pokemon that are kind of tricky here. Gastrodon, which is definitely tricky for the lead, but our backline is definitely very neutral against it. Like, Feraligatr should be able to do a ton of damage with Hydro Cannon, as well as, Machamp should be kind of okay as well. Malamar can be a little bit more tricky because of the False Move being super effective against our lead, as well as our Machamp in the back, so don't know how that's going to be really happening there, but I think he's still going to be fine. I think like as a team effort, Malamar should be definitely beatable with all Pokemon. There's not like a matchup where you literally cannot do anything, especially offensively. Like, you're going to have a lot of coverage there as well, and so we can move on to team number 2. Team number 2 here, we're going to have the lead of the Manabuzz here, as well as the say-so of Dunsparce. Dunsparce is going to be a great say-so together with Manabuzz. Manabuzz is going to be your main answer, of course, for like fighting-type Pokemon. We're going to have the Gastron in the back here, which I like quite a lot as well. Clodsire would be an alternative, but Gastron is honestly very likely one of the strongest Pokemon for the upcoming season. I would actually put Gastron above Clodsire. Yes, Clodsire is going to be very strong, Clodsire is going to be very bulky, but just the pure damage output of Mudslap Gastrodon is ridiculous. You see it here on the right side as well. There are going to be a lot of Gastron teams, but the thing is, basically with Gastron being that good, there might be some options for grass-type Pokemon later on in the meta, just because it's double weak to grass. This Mudboy is going to be insane. I think that Gastron is going to be single-handedly the reason why this Pokemon is going to get nerfed, like Mudslap going to get nerfed next season again. But yeah, we're going to talk about this as well during the season. We're going to definitely showcase it, but I think Gastrodon, if you want to invest into one Pokemon, Gastron is the one that you really want to invest in. Speaking of Gastron again, we're going to have another team here with this Pokemon. We're going to have the lead of Pangoro. Pangoro running Karate Chop. Karate Chop going to be so interesting on this Pokemon. Can't wait to try it out. Clodsire with Poison Sting, Earthquake as well as Stone Edge going to be very solid. Of course, here as well as a Say-Swap. We have the alternative options of Nidorina. Issue is, if you're going to encounter Clodsire lead here, you are going to be better off with a Pokemon that's going to be at least able to counter it a bit. Clodsire, of course, having access to Earthquake going to do, of course, super effective damage against itself, basically. But yeah, we have in the back the Gastron to hard wall Clodsire if they want to use a Say-Swap against you. And this team is definitely looking like a lot of fun. Like, look at this. Gastron plus the Pangoro basically beat everything together that is not called Jumpluff. Jumpluff is a hard answer to both of them. And so we're going to have another team with Jumpluff coming up very shortly as well. But yeah, this team looks insane. Jumpluff, honestly, one of the best core breakers. Maybe you make a video about best core breakers, but I have to see about this. But anyway, that's going to be team number 3. Team number 4 coming up here, we're going to have a team that I really like. I don't know like if it's going to be for everyone because it's quite squishy, but we're going to have the Shadow variant of Alolan Marowak in the lead. We're going to have the Greninja as our say-so and the Bummer Snow in the back. Double weak to fighting in the back while we have a good Pokemon for fighting in the lead. That's kind of, normal way of playing this kind of. We have Greninja as our say-so, which is going to be a great Pokemon in the upcoming season. I can't wait to try it out. There are only a few hard answers to it, and that is going to be great. A lot of the counter users are gone. which gives Greninja, especially offensively, a lot of play. Before, you were countered down, but now you can just still go for Hydro Cannons and force the opponent to go for charge moves, which is going to be great. And Alabama Snow, I feel like, is going to be one of the best core breakers for the upcoming season, being able to beat something like Feraligatr as well as Gastrodon. What I would recommend you, by the way, for the Alabama Snow is to go for the non-Shadow variant. I think it's going to be the better one to go for, just because it can take a few more hits, and I think it's going to be a little bit better for the upcoming season, because you kind of want to take some hits. So, example, from a Feraligatr, for example, from a Gastrodon, you don't really want to get knocked out by like 2 body slams or something. Team number 5 here, we're going to have Clefable in the lead. Saysop going to be our Ursaring, and in the back we're going to have either the Feraligatr or another normal type. This is going to be kind of a great team here as well, because Ursaring is going to be a lovely Saysop for the upcoming season. I can't wait to try this Pokemon out. One of the ones I look forward to the most. We're going to have Shadow Claw plus Swift plus Close Combat. Is going to be a great moveset, especially to cover up the weaknesses of Clefable. Clefable being weak to Poison as well as Steel type Pokemon. You're going to have a neutral Saysop with the Ursaring, but also you're going to have the Close Combat, which is going to do super effective damage, and in the back we're going to have Feraligatr, which is going to have that super effective coverage against the Clodsire to counter this Pokemon, making this a very solid team for the upcoming season, and especially a very neutral team. You have a lot of play against a lot of Pokemon. There's nothing that you really have to fear out. Maybe the Drapion is going to be the worst one to counter, but that's basically it. Team number 6, we're going to have here some Poison, Dark, and Fairy type core. Kind of the Pokemon that kind of got buffed this season. Specifically, we're going to have actually a team here that has, 2 or 3 buffs, depending on what you want to run here. We're going to have the Malamar in the lead. This is only if Psywave going to generate 2 energy. We don't know this yet. If it doesn't, forget about this team, because Malamar would not have any play with it. Psywave needs to get a +2 buff, which I feel like is very, very likely though. I think it is going to be a +2 buff on Psywave. So that's why I did this team here, and that's why I think this team is going to be great. We're going to have Weezing and a Sayswap. I could even see the play of Weezing having access to the move Overheat on the Sayswap position, just to bait out potential like Steel type Pokemon after you have Superpower on your Malamar. I think this would make a lot of sense. But otherwise, we're going to have here the Weezing still as our Sayswap. Of course, we're going to have the Clodsire as a potential alternative there. And we're going to have in the back the Azumarill or also the Toxapex. Both of them have some certain plays I like a little bit more. But here I think the Azumarill is a bit better, because I'm fearing Gastrodon. Like, Gastrodon is going to be such a big meta threat next season. I think it's going to be one of the most dominant Pokemon next season. So definitely, yeah, this is going to be something you have to be a little bit careful about. Team number 7, we're going to have the Gengar, we're going to have the Pangoro, and we're going to have the Gastrodon again. This is going to be an interesting team, because you're going to have the Sayswap of Pangoro, but 99% of the time you don't want to use it as your Sayswap. What you want to do is you kind of want to play out the lead matchup with the Gengar, because basically everything is kind of neutral for it. You only really want to swap out if it's something like a Feraligatr, which does super effective damage against you, or something like a Pangoro, which does super effective damage against you. Everything neutral, you kind of want to stay in, and you kind of really want to realign yourself if possible. You need the Legacy move on it. If you don't have a Gengar, you can also use the Haunter, of course. That would also work out well. But otherwise, you just kind of want to align your backline as Pangoro, as well as the Gastrodon having very, very hard matchups against a lot of the other meta. A little bit tricky though, by the way, if this team going to encounter Jumpluff in the back again, the only hard counter to like the matchup of like Pangoro Gastrodon is going to be Jumpluff or a Tropius. Next team here, we're going to have the Quillfish, we're going to have the Mandibuzz, and we're going to have the Jumpluff. As said before already, we have a Jumpluff team here, and I think it's going to be a great team to run. We're going to have an answer for like Ice-type Pokemon in the Quillfish here, being able to resist Ice-type moves. We have the Pokemon that can bait them out in the Mandibuzz, which is a very safe Pokemon for the current meta, as Carving I don't think is going to be too common even against Pokemon like Sandslash with Snarl, Dark Pulse, Aerial Ace. You're going to have a great coverage there as well. And then we're going to have the Jumpluff in the back. In my opinion, one of the most underrated core breakers for the upcoming season. Being able to destroy something like a Gastrodon is going to be so handy for the next season. So definitely, if you have not built your Jumpluff yet, I would really recommend you to do that, because this Pokemon is going to be insane. A little bit still of a trickier Pokemon for sure is going to be a Sandslash, but I feel like you're gonna be fine with Awkward Tail damage and Snarl plus Dark Pulse, so I think it's going to be okay. Team number 9 is going to be here another double Dark line here with the Clodsire in the lead. But Greninja, as I say so, Greninja Clodsire core is amazing. It was already amazing the last season. It's going to be even better this season. We're going to have in the back the low kicks Low Kick, surprisingly, going to be a very good Pokemon to use for this team because you're gonna be able to resist also the fast move of Relegator while hitting it for super effective damage as Trail Blaze and doing tremendous amounts of damage with the Stab, Sucker Punch, which is now this season a counter clone. So you have Stab, Sucker Punch, you have Trail Blaze to boost your attack, and you resist the fast move of a Relegator, plus also you're going to be able to do super effective damage against Gaston. It's going to be a great time for Low Kicks, a cool Pokemon to run for the upcoming season. Moving on to the final one for today. Again, if you want to see another video like this, feel free to leave a like, and also let me know in the comment section what Pokemon am I missing here, which one you want to see another team around. Let me know down below and we're gonna try to do that. But here we're going to have a team around Machamp, Dialga, Sandslash. Dialga is going to be a great save up for this team, but the core of Sandslash and the Machamp is basically flawless, basically beating every kind of thing, or like having a lot of play against basically everything. It's going to be a great team. It is a little bit trickier now to run though, because it is maybe a little bit tricky against other fighting type Pokemon, which are a little bit rare. Basically, Machamp is going to be your hardest answer to this team as well. Basically, this team was something that you were running back in the day with the lead of the Annihilate, but of course, Annihilate is not there anymore. And so, this Pokemon is going to, it would be a little bit better in terms of the typing, but this team still should work out kind of fine. There are also other options than Dugong, for example, here that you can run. You can run something like a Dunsparce as well, but if you want to have maybe a little bit of a neutral play, and if you're not too worried about the fairy types, but I don't think Charm is going to be too great this season, you can also run something like a Sableye as a Say Swap, or you can even flip it around, go for the Sandslash lead, Sableye Say Swap, and have the Machamp in the back. This all should work out pretty well. But this is going to be also it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. There might be a video later on as well again, and yeah, hopefully, again, if you want to see another part of this, let me know in the comment section. I see you then. Bye bye.